So again, everyone tapping along and see if you get borrowed benefits. And Nancy, we were listening to a couple of the parables, and the one that you said you had a reaction to was fear of spirituality, enlightenment, and commitment. So can you just explain a little bit more about that and how it feels in your body and how you've felt it before, perhaps in your life?
Well, I think I've always felt like I am, in my own little way, spiritual and not religious kind of belief. And when I've read books on some more New Age kind of stuff, and I've seen, oh, look at somebody's channeling or somebody's doing that, and I'm wondering, wow, how come not me? How come not me? But then the other part of me would think after a while, it's like, well, maybe you don't really want that, because then there kind of becomes this, what are you going to do with it? If you're given this, then you're supposed to do something with it for the world, which is like, now that's a commitment, and I'm not sure if I really want to do that. So now I'm kind of chickening out. And I know I've thought of this multiple times, really. It's like, then I don't have enough nerve to do it, but I want to do that. I want to
Mm-hmm.
progress myself, but then there's this expectation that I'm supposed to do something with it, and then I don't, then
Mm-hmm. All
what am I
right.
doing there?
Yeah. So there's part of you wants to, but part of you goes, no, don't go there because then I have this responsibility of doing something with it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So just feeling both those parts of you right now, what's going on in your body.
It's not the strongest thing in the world or anything, but I guess where I feel it would be in my chest, kind of
Mm-hmm.
up into my throat.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of a bit of
Mm-hmm.
a choking feeling.
Yeah. And what emotion would you put to it?
A kind of a little fear and maybe kind of a little shame
Mm-hmm.
that, I should be willing to do that if I
Mm-hmm.
want to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I'm kind of chicken,
Yeah.
whatever chicken means.
Yeah. Even though I have these two parts of me,
I have these two parts of me.
part of me really wants to step into my spirituality and my gifts.
Part of me wants to step into my spirituality and my
Gifts, gifts.
gifts.
Hmm.
Thank you.
But part of me feels afraid to.
But part of me feels afraid too.
Part of me doesn't want the responsibility of the commitment.
Part of me doesn't want the responsibility of the commitment.
And I feel this in my chest and my throat.
And I feel this in my chest and my throat.
And part of it is fear and part of it's shame.
Part of it is fear and part of it is shame.
I accept myself and everything my body's feeling.
I accept myself and everything my body is feeling.
And I ask my body, my guides, and higher self,
And I ask my body, my guides, and my higher self,
and the multidimensional layers of my DNA
and the multi-dimensional layers of my DNA
that remember all my lifetimes.
that remember all my lifetimes.
Where does this come from originally?
Where does this come from originally?
This feeling in my chest and my throat,
This feeling in my chest and my throat,
fear and shame.
fear and shame.
Part of me wants to step into my full spiritual gifts.
Part of me wants to step into my full spiritual gifts.
Part of me is chicken.
Part of me is chicken.
Part of me feels like that's a big commitment and responsibility.
Part of me feels that's a big commitment and responsibility.
Part of me is afraid of that.
And part of me is afraid of that.
And at the same time, I'm ashamed of that fear.
And at the same time, I'm ashamed of that feeling.
And I feel this fear and shame in my chest and my throat.
And I feel this fear and shame in my chest and my throat.
And I wonder if I felt this before.
And I wonder if I felt this before.
I wonder if I have had spiritual gifts and used them before.
I feel that I have had spiritual gifts and used them before.
And I feel like I've felt the responsibility and commitment.
And I feel like I felt the responsibility and commitment.
What else do you feel that you felt when you had these spiritual gifts?
I feel like there's always been this desire for me to understand like herbal medicine, herbs,
Mm-hmm.
like I knew that once upon a time and I should relearn it. And I felt that for, I don't know, 20 or 30 years or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I didn't want to take the time to try to learn it. I mean, there's more books now than there was 20 or 30 years ago on that kind of thing, but
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't really a lot when I really first started thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wondered about that. Was I a healer and now I don't want to do that, or
Mm-hmm.
why not? Why am I chicken now?
Mm-hmm. And I ask my guides and higher self
And I ask my guides and higher self
and the multidimensional layers of my DNA
in the multidimensional layers of my DNA
to show me more about that lifetime when I was a herbal healer.
to show me more about that lifetime when I was an herbal healer.
Tuning into that lifetime.
Tuning into that lifetime.
What's coming up?
Well, what's kind of come up, it's kind of like the Salem witch stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which has never come up. I've never thought of that before.
Mm-hmm. All this emotion.
All this emotion.
I was an herbal healer
I was an herbal healer
trying to help people.
trying to help people,
And I feel all this emotion.
and I feel all this emotion.
What's coming up is like Salem witch era.
What's coming up is like Salem witch era,
And it's bringing all this emotion.
and it's bringing all this emotion.
What if I did have a past life as an herbal healer?
What if I did have a past life as an herbal healer?
And part of me really wants to do that again.
And part of me really wants to do that again.
And part of me says, don't go there. It didn't go well last time.
And part of me says, don't go there. It did not go well last time.
Part of me remembers that Salem witch era.
And part of me remembers that Salem witch era
Because I lived it.
because I lived it.
No wonder part of me wants to be a healer and part of me says, don't go there.
No wonder part of me wants to be a healer and part of me says, don't go there.
And I thank both parts of me.
And I think both parts of me.
And that part of me that is fearful,
And that part of me that is fearful.
I know it's there to protect me in some way.
I know it's there to protect me in some way.
At a human level.
At a human level.
And I let that part of me know.
And I let that part of me know.
That part of me that's fearful to use my spiritual gifts.
That part of me that's fearful to use my spiritual gifts.
My herbal gifts.
My herbal gifts.
That even in this lifetime, there's been a lot more acceptance.
That even in this lifetime, there's been a lot more acceptance.
There's even a lot more books.
There's a lot more books.
A lot more I can study.
A lot more I can study.
I won't be tried as a witch and killed for it this time.
I won't be tried as a witch and killed for it this time.
Everything my body remembers from that lifetime.
Everything my body remembers from that life.
I choose to release the fear.
I choose to release the fear.
As a being of light,
As a being of light,
I have full free choice.
I have full free choice.
And it's my choice and my instruction
And it's my choice and my instruction
to all pieces and parts of me
to all pieces and parts of me
to process and release the fear
to process and release the fear
all the way back to that lifetime.
all the way back to that lifetime.
The energy vibration of human beings weren't ready for that knowledge then.
The energy vibration of human beings was not ready for that knowledge then.
But it's safe in this lifetime
But it's safe in this lifetime
to pull upon that knowledge that I had from that lifetime
to pull upon that knowledge that I had from that lifetime
about herbal medicine and healing.
about herbal medicine and healing.
It's always interested me in this life.
It's always interested me in this lifetime.
And maybe I can feel safe to study it if I choose.
And maybe I can feel safe to study it if I choose.
In honor of that me in that lifetime.
In honor of me in that lifetime.
It's safe now.
It's safe now.
In this energy vibration.
In this energy vibration.
In this lifetime.
In this lifetime.
And I choose to release the fear associated with it.
And I choose to release the fear associated with it.
All the way back to that lifetime and any others.
All the way back to that lifetime and any others.
I'm safe now.
I'm safe now.
How does that feel?
Well, that was just really weird. I have never thought of that in my life.
And there was emotion that came up with it.
I know, that was just very strange.
Mm.
But yeah, I feel great now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel charged or anything. But yes, that was very strange.
Yeah, because the emotion can come up from nowhere just when you tune into and you got that flash and sense of it was, Salem witch era.
Yeah, and I've always had this thought that the worst way of dying would be in a fire to have your skin burn. But I mean, I'm sure people all think of the worst way to die, drowning or whatever people think.
Well, yeah, but it would relate to because part of you remembers that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. Right, let's just do one more round. Even though in this lifetime,
even though in this lifetime,
I've always thought the worst way to die would be to burn.
I've always thought the worst way to die would be to burn.
And perhaps that's because I experienced it in another life.
And perhaps that's because I experienced it in another life.
In honor of that lifetime.
In honor of that lifetime.
I choose to release this fear.
I choose to release this fear.
All the way back to its origins.
All the way back to its origins.
As I tune into my soul back then.
As I tune into my soul back then.
Having left the body.
Having left the body.
Rising above the body below, not feeling anything to do with the body.
Rising above the body below, not feeling anything to do with the body.
Looking down from a spiritual place.
looking down from a spiritual place,
seeing the soul contract and agreement,
something,
seeing the soul contract and agreement,
seeing the soul contract and agreement,
having a higher understanding for that lifetime,
having a higher understanding of that lifetime.
and I choose to release any human remnants of fear
And I choose to release any human remnants of fear
out of all pieces and parts of my DNA.
out of all pieces and parts of my DNA.
And I honor and understand the purpose of that life.
And I honor and understand the purpose of that life,
even though I may not be able to articulate it at a human level.
even though I may not be able to articulate it and in a human level.
Yeah, just to know that at a soul level, all is well, right? It all happened for a soul contract and purpose, and at a soul level, all is well. And I release the human memory and fear, and they often say that you leave your body very quickly. I don't know if you know the story of Edgar Cayce, when he saw auras around people, and
Mm-hmm.
he went to get in a lift, and the doors open, and he saw no auras around them. So he was quite shocked to not see auras around living human beings. So he didn't get into the lift. The lift plummeted, and everyone in the lift died.
Oh, I never heard that one. Wow.
And it's like their soul had already left their body.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
And so, and I've heard other stories where people basically leave their body before all of that's occurring.
Oh, that's
Mm.
that feels better hearing that.
Mm. So imagining that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, good. Well done.
Thank you.